Wait, there's already been 7. I know, right? Isn't it crazy? This is the 7th invent a fish. I cannot believe there has been 7. It is time, chat, for the long awaited, probably the longest we've gone between competitions, I think, or maybe between 5 and 6 was longer. I'm not sure, but it's been a pretty long time, and it's time for Invent a Fish 7, chat. Today we are going to be looking at fish invented by my viewers. I put out the challenge about a week and a half ago. I gave them about a week to invent a fish and draw the fish and submit the best thing that they could come up with and draw in that time. I got a lot of submissions as always. It was a lot to sort through. Excuse me, I'm still getting my voice back. I was sick for a while. After all of that, we have chosen some awards and we have chosen a top 16. And from there, it's hands off on my end. I chose the top 16, and after that, you guys are fully in charge. You will be voting for the winner of every single round going forward. Let's get it started with the awards, okay? We know that we have to have a couple awards. We got some most efforts, we got some honorable mentions, all right? The first award we look at is the most effort. Who put the most effort in? And early on in the Invent a Fish, this was a pretty easy award to give out. Someone would invent like 2 fish, or someone would have like a 3-slide PowerPoint. And as Invent a Fish has gone on, the metric that you need to meet to get the most effort award has gone higher and higher, okay? Let me tell you, someone submitted a 25-page PowerPoint. 25-page PowerPoint to this Invent a Fish, and it didn't win most effort. You know why? Because Alec won it with a 30-page PowerPoint. Heroes Angelfish, a 30-page PowerPoint with origin, behavior, environment, anatomy and appearance, effects on humanity, safety tips, subspecies. It is a full SCP style investigation with a table of contents. Very cool. We've seen a couple people experiment with the whole idea of doing horror now, and I really do like that. The next award is my favorite. This was my personal favorite of all of the submissions. Now, this award doesn't technically win anything, but everybody knows that this is the real award. You know, getting first in the competition, who cares? I went through all the submissions, and this is the submission that I would have chosen as my favorite had the competition solely been up to me. And that is the Copper Skull Darter. This thing is sick. So this is a darter based on the genus Crystalleria, which is a real life genus of darter. And they created, and this is my favorite type of thing, they took an existing genus, an existing type of fish, especially a native fish that I like, and made their own version of it. And these guys are particularly adept against copper toxicity, which is an increasing problem in the environment that you found them in. And they do this crazy thing called hole punching, using the copper toxicity to their advantage against larger predators. It's really cool. I love this Copper Skull Darter. Shout out to Cymonk. All right, then we've got some honorable mentions. I believe we have 2 honorable mentions this time around. Basically, if I had to put it in a good word, this would be the 17th and 18th place, okay? These are the ones that just barely missed it for one reason or another. Probably the reason being that we had a lot of really good submissions, as always, and picking a top 16 was not easy. One that I wanted to give an honorable mention to was from Fishopedia, with the documentation of newly discovered fish species in Algonquin Park, Ontario. If Fishopedia was able to make a bit better digital drawings, I could definitely see them making the top 16, but this document is just really cool. They described 4 new species in a park in Ontario, went through all the new information about them, and again, they're all based on real existing fish. This one, I believe, is even a subspecies of an this is also a subspecies of an existing fish, and then these 2 are new species. Really cool. I love the concept of doing that. As you guys know, I am a sucker for these native local fishes. And the next honorable mention, I had to remove this one because technically it's not a fish, and also I think it just barely didn't make the cutoff, but this is called False Reefs, and this one has a 6-page PowerPoint, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a reef, or a reef mimic, that consumes the things that try to become part of its ecosystem. It has some really complex and interesting anatomy, 2-slide anatomy and life cycle. It's really cool. And they even used a nice Google Maps image here to mark out the exact location that it lives in. It's terrifying. It's kind of sick. I liked it, but it just barely didn't make the top 16. No further ado. All right, shall we go into the top 16, chat? Number 1 in the top 16. We have the Swahilia two-eyed sharks. I will let you guys read. All of these have a ton of information. I can't possibly read to you all of the information from these, but they're so cool, and I'm just gonna let you guys have like the run of reading them and going through the information. But exactly what it says, it's got this tube on its eye, it's got a long saw shark like beak here, or rostrum here. Really cool. Submitted by Sly Bearded Vulture, a recurring artist in the AVNJ community. Our second entry into the top 16 is the Nomad. This one had a lot of effort put into it, including GIFs and anatomical drawings. There's again an entire document, as there always is, about the life cycle, its niche, its anatomy. There's an image here that's for some reason not displaying, and some other images. Very cool. It is an odd looking one, and I think that's what drew me to it, but also the whole having a GIF is crazy. Next, we've got the Burial Gar. I think if you scroll through the Inventifish channel, you kind of knew that this one was going to get in. Val pretty much always makes the top 16 because Val is an incredible artist. Their submission this time around is the Burial Gar. Yes, at the Real Val in chat. Everyone at the Real Val in chat and say, good job. Multoisda Duen La Cibra, and this is a bit of a celebrity cameo here. We have Petite Paleo Artist, who, if any of you are into paleo art, have probably seen this person on Twitter, and they make very good paleo art and, you know, speculative Evo when it comes to paleontology as well. So this is a spec Evo paleontology. So this person came up with a fish that would now be extinct and drew it, and they even have skull diagrams with the different parts of the skull. It's very cool, the skull and the jaw. And then they even made the announcement as a preprint paper. This looks like an actual scientific paper. It's got the non-technical summary and abstract. I'm pretty sure they took the formatting from some journal that's probably well known. Introduction, geographical settings, systematics, materials, and methods. It looks like a legitimate preprint, minus probably the drawing, but actually with paleo that might look like a real preprint. It's very cool. I love the idea of this. And yeah, the skull anatomy is not something I've seen. Like a detailed skeletal anatomical drawing is not something that I've seen in a Inventifish submission before, and I think that might be specifically what drew me to it. Next up, listen, we knew it was going to make it. When has my favorite submission not made the bracket? Okay, the Copper Skull Darter's obviously going to make the bracket. I am biased to native species far and wide. Everybody knows this. You make a good looking and cool adapted Native American species, I'm gonna be in on it. That one's getting in the competition. All right, it looks so good. I love this one. It's really awesome. Shout out to Cymonk again. All right, then we've got the Spruce Darter, another darter submission, but this one is really cool because it lives in an area where there basically are no darters. At the moment, there aren't really darters in Canada. Tessellated and Johnny darters kind of go up into Canada just a tiny bit, but not really. And this fills that niche. It's a boreal darter that is very sedentary and looks, in these tannin creeks, like a stick fallen off of a spruce tree. It's got the spruce stick and then the fins based on the needles on the spruce tree, so it looks totally like a any spruce tree that would have fallen, any spruce branch that would have fallen into the stream. Cool camouflage, cool idea. Takes a real life native species, comes up with a cool adaptation, and puts it in a place where it makes sense, because there's no darters adapted here right now. If a darter was to adapt to this climate, it would have to look something like this.
Spruce darter plushies when?
You'll have to ask Rasputin, who, by the way, I do have somewhat of an issue with your Discord username here. The top is the username they go by. The bottom is like their unique ID on Discord. I might have to contest you on this one. I don't think you can necessarily call yourself the Notropus King when I'm around, but this is a cool drawing. Then we've got the Deep One by Bee Whisperer. I think Bee Whisperer has had submissions get in the top 16 before. They're very good, and they have a 1.5.
Long as it lay at the bottom of a lock, forgotten by time, forgotten by grace. Does it rest in the depths, sleeping past the ages? Or perhaps it lieth in wait for something we cannot possibly fathom. Canst thou feel it? The uneasy air that permeates the stiff surface of water most putrid. Cursed it could be, this thing of the deep, but fear it shouldst thou. I know not. I have heard tale of its past, a legend steeped in delusion and hysteria. Those who had laid eyes upon it were maddened by its gaze, its visage so hideous that none can truly know it. It beckons one to question what truly lies beneath the murk and shadow. Dare I delve deeper to learn more? Not a chance, but by all means, if thee so chooses, take the plunge into waters uncertain.
Poggers!
It may not wish for itself to bring harm, but harm may come to others as the price of its existence. Thou art brave of heart. Let us pray thine soul is so the same.
So, that's a thing that has been submitted and will be in my nightmares for a long time. So that's a submission that made the top 16, obviously. Cool one. Then we have the Tiger Shark, a real simple concept by Beep Jeep, but just very well executed. It's a tiger shark, not a tiger shark. Not a tiger shark, it's a tiger shark, okay? Get it right. Just a better concept on what a tiger shark would be. Paragon of an iniquity. I don't even know how to properly say this. Soft-boiled egg. It's really cool. The concept is really cool. The art is on the simple side, but I actually really like the way that it's done, and I think it really fits the fish as a whole. This fish like generates blood constantly like an anime character, so they can do some crazy stuff. It has no like blood loss issues, so they can live essentially zombified, constantly bleeding because they can make themselves infinite blood. It's very interesting. Then we have from Cobalt Strike, who is in Twitch chat right now, the black bobblefish. Everyone at Cobalt Strike and congratulate them on their black bobblefish making the contest. Very ethereal type submission, which we do tend to get a good amount of, but I particularly like this one, and I like the sexual dimorphism. This one's really cute. Next up, we have the Hermit Ray by the Rat King. This is a very cool looking, I just love the art on this guy. And look at the tiny ray, dude. It's so cute, the tiny Hermit Ray. I love this art. It looks like it belongs in like an early 2000s indie game. It's just the pixel art. It's like close to pixel art, but not quite pixel art. Like you can't see the edges of pixels, but it feels in that like low kind of poly way. It's very cute. It's very cool. Big fan of this one. Then we've got the final stronghold of the Gardenier Chanoid. I'm just going to call this Chanoid for future reference. This is a extinct fish from 30,000 years ago. A extinct fish from 30,000 years ago. Pretty cool, based on some real life stuff, but is not a real life thing. This is by Dynamo Terror. Then we've got the Weevil Fishes, and there's more than I can even show here, submitted by JJJ Player, and they made an entire iNaturalist page. They made an entire iNaturalist thing. So there's top observer identifier. They've got the Weevil Fishes on iNat. No, this is ridiculous. You guys don't realize how in depth this is. Look, they've got the Weevil Fishes thing in iNaturalist. They've got all of the where they come from. They're a type of toadfish, and the family is named like this. They've got it even like on iNaturalist, the source, the description, distribution, habitat, predators, feeding, and then they've got all of the different species: Rocky, Western, Gulf, Pacific, Piercer, and Pygmy weevil fish. And then they've got the various distributions of the various weevil fishes. Very cool, extremely well done. I love the idea of taking an iNaturalist page and adapting it for, you know, your own Spec Evo project. It's very cool. Big fan of that one, obviously. Then we've got the flashbang betta, and this picture made me laugh a bunch of times. Basically a betta fish that uses bioluminescence to make itself into a flashbang, taking the whole squid sprays ink thing into a new level. Hey Rayman, congratulations. Everyone at Rayman in chat and say nice betta. Then we've got the Sorrowful Shiner. Did we think even for a second that this guy was not going to make it? I mean, come on. When someone makes me a Netropus, it's going to make the top 16, all right? So we've got the Sorrowful Shiner. Only criticism, specific epithets start with a lowercase letter, not an uppercase letter, but Snarver, I know you're in chat. You just subbed a few minutes ago, so thank you, Snarver. And this is very cool. It's an interesting take on Invent a Fish as a whole, because it's not so much of like a realistic spec Evo as it is just a cool concept. Why is he sad? Because he's really sensitive and is always crying about something. Did you not read the description? And finally, our last submission, we've got Reed's Walking Salmon. The art style on this one I thought was really cool and freaked me out a little bit, and I like when things make me feel something. So yeah. Wow, a lot of the people who submitted in the top 16 are in chat right now. That's pretty cool. I've seen like 10 of the names of the top 16 that are in chat right now. This has a small Google Doc to go along with it. With that being said, chat, with the top 16 being decided, you know what's next on the list. It's time for the bracket, chat, and it's time for you guys to vote. Okay, we will be going through the bracket. And here I am revealing the bracket now for the first time. So you get to see the matchups. These are randomly seeded, keep in mind. These are the matchups that are going to happen. And every single round, you guys are going to vote for which fish you like better up until the final round, where fate will decide the winner of Invent a Fish, as it always has. I will show you guys the options so you can take a second, but whichever one you want to vote for, you type either the 1 for Burial Gar or a 2 for Hermit Ray. So it's Burial Gar versus the Hermit Ray. It should show on screen. Indeed it does. And I will show you guys what those look like. So the Burial Gar is this guy here by Val. And the Hermit Ray is the cute semi-pixel art by the Rat King. A lot of votes for Burial Gar. It does make sense. It is more of the traditional like art. And let's be real, Val always makes a deep run in these Invent a Fish competitions, though the Hermit Ray is catching up a little bit. Ooh, maybe, hold on a minute, it's within 10%. Hermit Ray could possibly still do it with some late voters, some real believers in the Hermit Ray. It does seem like most everyone who will vote has voted at this point. 45 votes in. Alrighty. Oh, quickly up to 50 votes here, but that will not be enough for the Hermit Ray. The Hermit Ray is going to go down in the first round. Congratulations to the Burial Gar for moving on. According to the seeding, that was not an upset. That is the 1 seed versus the 16 seed. Thank you, Rat King, for your submission. The Tiger Shark versus the Sorrowful Shiner. And I think this one will tell me a lot about how chat is going to vote today, okay? Because this is a funny concept. They're actually kind of both funny concepts. It's really just an art competition, but we'll see. We've got the Tiger Shark, which is, of course, a tiger mixed with a shark by Beep Jeep. All right. And that is going against the Sorrowful Shiner, the Shiner that is really sensitive and cries about everything, and is predated by the Apathy Catfish, who has no regards for the Shiner's emotions. Keep in mind, this Shiner's main defense mechanism is that they are so sad that everything pities them and doesn't eat them. And this is the Tiger Shark. All right. Is looking like a decisive victory for the Sorrowful Shiner. That is not particularly surprising to me, but it is nice to know that you guys may be voting on the side of natives today. I'm excited to see how the competition goes if this trend continues. Congratulations to Sorrowful Shiner for moving on. Next up, we have the Chanoid versus the Copper Skull Darter. Remind you what both of them look like. The Copper Skull Darter is this guy, can puncture holes in prey and predators and use its its copper toxicity resistance and its advantage in environments that are becoming increasingly toxic with copper, versus the stronghold of the Gardner Chanoid, which is a extinct 30,000 years ago in the Spain area Chanoid fish, speculative paleo art fish. Looks like this is going to be a win for the Copper Skull Darter. We're having some fairly non-close first rounds here. This is rare. Usually I feel like the first rounds are not blowouts, but Copper Skull Darter moving on. I'm very proud of you guys. You guys have moved on the native type species, the native type Spec Evo, 2 out of the 2 times that it was on screen now. Next up, we've got a bit of an interesting matchup here. These are on the lower side of unique art styles, but not a ton of information provided and Spec Evo provided. Paragon versus the Walking Salmon. Number 1 for Paragon of Iniquity, the Infinite Blood Glitch Fish. Number 2 for the Walking Salmon. All right, it looks like it's going to be a walk in the park for the Paragon, if I do say so myself. The Walking Salmon walking his way out of the competition. All right, we've got another darter up next. We've got the Black Baublefish versus the Spruce Darter. Now this is interesting. This is some incredible art by Cobalt Strike in chat versus what I think is a really cool concept. So this is the Spruce Darter. For reference, this is a realistic idea of a darter that would live in the boreal climates where there currently are not darters, versus the incredible art of Cobalt Strike. Black Baublefish is just thick pleco. So you say it's just a thick pleco, and look at the amount of votes that it's getting. This is sad. This is such a good idea. If Cobalt Strike, if you get the person who drew this one, Cobalt Strike, to draw the Spruce Darter, it wins the entire competition straight up. Not to say your art's bad. Your art's actually very good and does a very good job of demonstrating. It's just very hard to compete with something that looks this damn good. It's going to be a tough one to take down. People do love Black Baublefish, but just know that I love the Spruce Darter idea. It's an incredible idea. All right, unfortunately, I do not love the idea enough to go against the wills of the democracy in chat, and thus the Black Baublefish will be moving on. We have 3 round 1 matchups left, starting with, this is a somewhat interesting matchup, 2 totally different takes on Invent-A-Fish. We have the Flashbang Beta, which uses bioluminescence to act like a Call of Duty flashbang, versus the Deep One, which is probably the most unsettling video that I have watched in a long time. Pretty self-explanatory. Beta, bioluminescence to flashbang. The Deep One, it's this.
Long hath it lay at the bottom of a lock, forgotten by time, forgotten by grace.
Oh, wow. It's 50-50 at 54 votes. Holy crap. Okay. If you have not voted yet and you are in chat, now is the time for your opinion to matter. You can never say that your vote doesn't matter right now. Oh, there's a 55th vote. 55 votes have gone in. Any vote now can totally swing the contest. If you have not yet voted, now is the time to do so. Ooh, the Deep One has gone up by 2. Ooh, the Deep One has gone up by 3 votes. 1 vote coming in for the Flashbang Beta. We'll stop it at 60. So the next 2 votes need to be for the Flashbang Beta, and then we will have a tie. Oh, the next vote was for the Deep One. All right. The Flashbang Beta has been eliminated by what I can only describe as a minute and a half of my sleep paralysis demon speaking to me. Democracy really fucked it on this one. But next up, oh, this is tough. This is a tough one. This is going to be the Weevil Fishes versus the Swahili Sharks. The Swahili two-eyed sharks. Looks like this. It's very good drawing by Sly, who has participated in a lot of Invent-A-Fishes previously. Versus the Weevil Fishes, who have an entire iNaturalist setup of like 7 different species. Average iNat enjoyer. Dude, this is so sick. I would do this if I had thought of this. I never thought of doing this. I don't want to spend too much time on one submission though. I don't want to show my bias. Look, I'll even put it on this one to show that I'm not biased. Weevil Fishes are going to come away with this one. That makes me happy. I am happy to see Weevil Fishes move forward. Really, all my favorite submissions pretty much are moving forward in the contest, which is awesome. Love that you guys are voting for what I would vote for. Alrighty, we have 1 more match to go in the round of 16. And that is going to be the Nomad versus petite paleo artist's own multoisda. The nomad is this guy, and multoisda is this guy with the cool skull art by petite paleo artist. The nomad by Arabian Baby. You guys have, can you guys get better names? I don't want to say petite paleo artist and Arabian Baby every time I talk about you guys. The nomad making a comeback. I don't think it's going to be enough. We are at 53 votes, which has been close to the max that we've been getting on these. So looks like the nomad will be wandering out, one might say, to find a new home, as nomads do. Congratulations to Multoisda. And we are left with 8 fish, chat. 8 fish. Many of my favorites still in the competition. One of my favorites lost forever to time. This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a painful one, I think, but I understand, chat. We have the Burial Gar versus the Sorrowful Shiner. The Burial Gar, let us remember the incredible art by Val on the nice like canvas print with the text and everything blent in. The Sorrowful Shiner, the shiner that is so sad and cries so much that nothing dare eat it other than the apathy catfish. Val in chat saying, oh wait, I'm actually winning. I was not expecting that. And indeed, Val, you are winning pretty handedly here. This is a not so close round 2 matchup between the Burial Gar and the Sorrowful Shiner. It makes me sad to see the Shiner go. I love the submissions. That was the last Notropus. Thank you for your submission. Thank you for making a native fish, even if you took a bit of a silly route on it. They're going to be very sad that they lost the competition, but you know what? I think they might be glad that they made it to round 2. Next up, we have, I don't get to vote. I don't get a vote, but come on. We've got the Copper Skull Darter versus the Paraguan. Why do I keep saying Paraguan, bro? I'm trying to say like Paraguay. The Copper Skull Darter, embracing copper toxicity and using it as a predatory mechanism against larger fish versus Infinite Blood Glitch. That's just what I'm going to call this fish, because that is the concept. They can live for a really long time, which is cool. And their specific epithet is even Immortui, which means of the immortality. Yeah, I took Latin in high school. No big deal. Infinite Blood Glitch is great, but it does not appear to be enough. Copper Skull Darter handedly winning this competition. Moving on, where it will face the Burial Gar in the semi-finals, the last one that you guys get to vote in. Next up, the Black Bobblefish versus the Deep One. Black Bobblefish, if you will remember, incredible art by Cobalt Strike. The Deep One, the largely unsettling 1.5-minute video from Bee Whisperer. Whoa, wait, why is the Deep One winning? Wait, what? I did not expect this. Wait, this is way closer than I thought it would be. It's an interesting concept. What concept? There is no concept. It's just this image and then 1.5-minute long video where it pans around this image and says buzzwords. And this entire text is just buzzwords. Yeah, the concept is just horror. There is no concept. There's no real fish. The only reason this one's technically in the competition is because I can't say that it's not a fish. All right, at 55 votes, if we are not close to tied, we will be ending the poll. 2 more votes, chat. If you have not yet voted on this one, feel free to now do so. Reminder, you cannot vote twice, so if you type another number in after you've already typed a number on this specific vote, it will not count for anything. Soul on Soul is going to put Black Bobblefish firmly in the lead at 54 votes. Goodbye to the Deep One. He will not be pleased with this decision. All right, our final round here. Bit of a powerhouse matchup. We've got some really good submissions in the top 4. We've got to determine the last one, and that is the Weevil Fishes versus Multoisda. As a reminder, Multoisda, the Spec Evo paleo art from Petite Paleo Artist with an entire preprint from the Journal of Aquatics, giving all of the information as if it was being described as a real species, and an in-depth breakdown of the skull anatomy, facing off against weevils, but as fishes. And there's a lot of them. There's like 6 of them, and there's a range map, and there's an entire spoofed iNaturalist page by JJJ user. God, I'm really pushing my voice. I'm sorry. I should have waited till tomorrow for Invent to Fish, but I thought my voice would be better today, and I promised today, and I didn't want to go back on saying that it was today. My voice is struggling, chat. Luckily, we've only got a few matchups to go. This one incredibly close at 47 votes. Listen, hey, we reached 54 votes on just the last one. Where are those 7 people at? You guys can totally swing the Invent to Fish here. Moltoista taking the lead in the last few minutes. Wow, in the last few seconds with only 54 votes. Moltoista actually coming. Oh, and another vote from Moltoista is going to seal it. Wow. Weevilfish is in the lead for most of the vote. But unfortunately, the Weevils will not be moving on to the semifinals. Petite Paleo Artist making it to the top 4. We have the top 4. And we only have 2 Democratic votes left to go. Mind you, the final match is determined by the fate of the gods, not by you, chat. You're not qualified to pick the winner of Invent a Fish. You only get to pick who enters the stadium on that day. All right? So choose wisely. First up, the Burial Gar versus the Copper Skull Darter. And my God, what a tough matchup. Burial Gar by Val. Copper Skull Darter by Cymonk. Both of them in chat. Both of these artists are currently in chat and need no introduction for their talents. I will speak no further. You decide, chat. Who's entering the stadium? $52 votes. If things don't start swinging towards Copper Skull right now, the competition may be over. Getting a lot of votes. Ooh, but it does seem that Burial Gar is still in the lead. If the next vote is not for Copper Skull Darter, we're going to have to call the competition in favor of the Burial Gar. Oh, wait, that's a couple votes in a row for the Copper Skull Darter. Wait, that's 3 votes in a row for the Copper Skull Darter. Hold on, that's 4 votes in a row for the Copper Skull Darter. It can still do this. I believe with one more 2 vote, the competition will be tied at 60 votes. If you have not yet voted, you can decide the competition right now. With a 2 vote, you will tie the competition. With a 1 vote, you will secure the lead. And with a 2 vote, the competition is tied. 30 votes apiece, 2 minutes in. Who in chat has not yet voted? If you have not yet voted, chat, you can decide the competition. It is a 50-50 right now between the Burial Gar and the Copper Skull Darter. It cannot be closer. It cannot be closer. And I believe that that is going to do it. 62 votes, the most voted on. Oh, 63 votes. Wait, 2 new viewers just came in to vote. 2. I was about to end the poll. 2 people who had never chatted before voting 2. Oh my God. It is once again tied. 32 votes apiece between the Copper Skull Darter and the Burial Gar. The next vote will decide it. It has to end on the next vote. The 65th vote will be it. If you have not yet voted, chat, and I don't just mean this metaphorically, you decide. If you still have your vote, you right now decide the winner. We just have to wait, chat, for someone to come in and vote. The next vote decides it. A lot of people typing numbers. None of them still have their vote, though. Well, every time someone types in chat, I keep thinking that the number is going to change, but it hasn't. It's still 32-32. It's still 32-32. So I know there's someone. Oh, 2 votes coming at the same time. 2 real votes, both for the Copper Skull Darter. And in the last moments of the competition, I'm going to have to end it now. 66 votes, the most voted on one so far. The 67th vote was for, okay. The 68th vote was for the Copper Skull Darter again. Okay. In the most voted on round so far, the Copper Skull Darter defeats the Burial Gar. Thank you for your submission, Val. As you can tell, the community loved it. and it made it pretty damn far. I am very proud of the Copper Skull Darter making the finals. That's awesome. We've got one native, really cool idea in the finals. I believe the Copper Skull Darter is by Simunk, who I believe I saw in chat. Can we at Simunk in chat and say congrats on making it to the finals? Next up, we have the Black Bobblefish versus Moltoizda. Our final match, chat. The final one that you get to vote on. Use your vote wisely. Who's going to face off against the Copper Darter? Is it going to be the art by Cobalt Strike? The incredible Fat Pleco, as some people have called it? Ethereal drawing? Or is it going to be the Spec Evo by Petite Paleo Artist? Who's making the finals, chat? Oh god, it's another close one, isn't it? It's going to be another close one, chat. I think. Unless a lot of votes come in a row for the same thing. It's looking like Moltoizda, the Spec Evo. I guess these are all Spec Evo. Spec Paleo. Spec Palevo? Palevo? There's got to be a word for that. Speculative Paleontology. Seems to be in the lead right now. But Black Bobblefish making a little bit of a comeback. Couple votes in a row. All right, this competition will end at 60 votes. I know we've got 60 people here because we almost got 70 votes on the last one, chat. 53 votes right now. This will end hard stop at 60 votes unless it's a tie at 60 votes. Black Bobblefish is going to need quite a few votes to make it back. Oh, that's 2. That's 3. Hold on a minute. There's still a chance that the Black Bobblefish, that's 4 votes in a row for the Black Bobblefish. Hold on a minute. There's still a chance. There are 3 votes left on the table, chat. If you have not yet typed a number in chat, you can claim one of them, and someone does. It is now tied, and the 59th vote comes in. Black Bobblefish is in the lead, and the 60th vote comes in an out of nowhere competition. Black Bobblefish gets like 7 votes in a row to come from behind. And Cobalt Strike, everybody at Cobalt Strike in chat and say congrats. Both of the finalists are in chat right now. Simunk and Cobalt Strike are your finalists in this competition and are both in chat here right now. I believe that's the first time that's ever happened that we've had a finalist be here. Your voting is done, chat. You no longer get to decide. Only God can choose the winner now. Sadfish Pity Marble. You want the sorrowful shiner to get 1 pity marble? But I'm always worried when I do this, chat, because of what if it wins? No, you know what? No. You were a democracy. You could have voted for the sorrowful shiner. You didn't. All right? So I don't want to hear it. You don't get a pity marble. Spruce starter marble. Okay, now this is getting out of control. Spruce starter marble, spruce and sorrowful combined pity marble. Then what happens if they win? You want me to put 1 spruce starter marble, 1 sorrowful shiner marble, and then 10 of each of the bracket demons? Zach, you're literally the apathy catfish. And you guys understand that if that marble places, which is not that unlikely, it's a 1 in 20 chance, one of them making it. All right, guys, we're doing pity marbles. There is a 10% chance that one of these marbles wins. You understand that? They will win the competition. You guys democratically voted these 2 finalists, and now you are paying to have me change them. All right, chat, everybody type in chat the one that you are rooting for. That will register. All right, so go ahead and type in chat the one that you are rooting for right now, and that will register that as your vote. And then when you type !boost during the race, it'll make that one go faster, okay? Everybody knows the rules of marbles. So type in your vote in chat right now to register that as your vote, and then you can type !boost to make that one go faster. Oh, why did they instantly start? Bro, everything about this game has changed. Duh. Go. Left or right, all of the contestants choosing left. Oh, Copper Skull Darter going to. Oh, but Copper Skull Darter takes the lead from the right side. It's launched over here. Bobblefish is not far behind. Everyone not far behind now with some boost. The Bobblefish takes the lead. He gets stopped. I swear to God, if one more person in chat says rigged, you voted for it. It is in the finals because you all voted for it collectively. Congratulations to the Bobblefish, and congratulations everybody at Cobalt Strike in chat, and say congrats.
Rigged.
You are the winner. It's not rigged. You are the winner of Invent-A-Fish 7.
Rerun.
I can't rerun it. That is I've already told Cobalt Strike that they've won the competition. I can't rerun the marbles race. It's not rigged. It's a fucking marbles race. Okay, I'm gonna play another game of marbles, okay, with the same competitors, okay? This is for nothing, to be clear. The winner of this is not the winner of the competition. They are just the second one to finish. Congratulations to the Sorrowful Shiner for second place. You win absolutely nothing because the democracy did not vote you to the finals, even though they claim that I have rigged everything about the competition. Interesting that it's now not rigged. Oh, never mind. It's still rigged. People in chat are still saying it's rigged.
Rerun
Right.
2 pity only for third.
No, we're not. We're done. I need to preserve my voice, please. I have things to do in my life. Congratulations to the Black Bobblefish for first place, and to the Sorrowful Shiner for a second place that means absolutely nothing.